Okay. So, I need to find somebody who is not barreling headlong down the path of self-destruction. Ooh. Onision made a new video today. I wonder what that's all about.
Real suicide notes left behind by teenagers.
Oh my god.
I'm giving my car back to my mom. My friends can have whatever else I leave behind. That's very generous of you. I'm afraid of the future. I'm afraid my parents won't live long enough to see my kids. Blah, blah, blah. Stupid reasons to kill yourself. Side note, great advertisement for the Marriott. Marriott, enjoy our pads to write your suicide notes on.
This is really happening.
It's my fault Blackleaf died. Can't face life alone. The hell are you talking about? If the leaf was black, it was probably already dead.
Is this even an old video? This is like an old video. Why in the fuck would he oh my god!
Please don't kill yourself, not tonight, not tomorrow, not ever. Your redundancy makes me want to kill myself. Good job.
Oh my god.
As for life has something good waiting for you, that doesn't apply to everyone. Can you imagine someone in a Nazi concentration camp reading that? No. And what about people in prison on death row? Tell me more about these good things that you imply are in everyone's life.
So is this supposed to make people not want to kill? What the fuck are you doing?
This person killed themselves over money. Hey, financial struggles are a real problem. Question, did you sign SHOT because that's how you died? Thank you, NRA. Now that's intense. Although it looks like you have a little room on your knees. Maybe they don't cut there because that's a moving part.
Okay, somebody who is not barreling headlong down the path of self-destruction. Oh, Riley has a new video, everybody. Please, Riley, just don't fucking...
Hey everybody, so today I want to answer a question that a lot of TERFs seem to have. If you don't know what TERF means, it stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist.
Oh, thank God. Something I can actually make a joke about. Ready? Here it comes. So TERFs are Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminists. And you might think that an AstroTurf would be a trans exclusionary radical feminist in space. But it's actually something you play football on. The more you know.
These people usually don't like being called TERFs, and they usually call themselves radfem.
See, I wouldn't want to be called anything but a rad something either. Like that's... I'm a rad YouTuber. I like that.
But not all radical feminists are TERFs. A lot of TERFs have XX in their bios for the chromosomes that they haven't had tested.
Haven't had tested. I have a really good test for you. You can even do this at home. If you'd like to know what your chromosomes are, it's real simple. What you do is go into the bathroom, right, and take off your pants. Okay, if there's a penis there, your chromosomes are XY. If there's a vagina there, your chromosomes are XX. If you got both, you probably want to get tested because that's something for a professional to figure out for you.
But basically, their branch of feminism says that trans people don't exist. There are only cis men and cis women. And they explain away trans people as mentally ill cis men or cis women who just think that they're a different gender than they are.
What about people who think they're Jesus Christ? Or Napoleon Bonaparte? What do you call them? Just because they think they're Jesus Christ, that make them Jesus Christ? No. Makes them crazy people.
Obviously, this is a really harmful ideology that is explicitly anti-trans. Anyone who supports LGBT+ rights should be able to see that. But unfortunately, I've seen a few prominent people entertaining the idea that TERFs have something valuable to add to the conversation.
Well, first of all, I am fully in favor of human rights. If you're a special group and you want to have your own special rights, I'm not in favor of that. If you want to say, hey, I'm a human being and I should be treated with human respect, fully for that. And secondly, fucking... what was it she said? And secondly, I think that if you have anything to say, you have something valuable to add to the conversation. Like, what? Even if it's a really, really bad idea, at least we can look at it and go, wow, that's a really bad idea. Now we know. That's valuable. God, but...
So I want to address one of their main talking points, and that is, if you bring up gender identity, TERFs love to ask, well, how do you define gender without relying on sexist stereotypes? You can't.
Huh. That's a... shit. That's a goddamn good point.
They really think it's like a gotcha moment, like they exposed all the trans hypocrisy. It's ridiculous. But in case you ever run into these people and need to know how to respond, I got your back. The simple, short answer is that gender is a feeling. It just is.
So saith Riley, and so it shall be known.
And we know that because across cultures and time periods, there have always been a good number of people who felt differently than the gender they were assigned at birth. You could write all of these people off as having a mental disorder, but you'd be disagreeing with the American Psychiatric Association, the medical organization in the US that defines how we diagnose gender dysphoria.
Why did they change it? Why did they change... You don't like your body because you don't think your body is what it should be. And that's crazy because normal people don't think that way. There are people that are like, you know, for some reason I just feel like I shouldn't have my left arm. It just needs to go because I feel like I'm somebody that shouldn't have a left arm. There are people like that. Are they crazy? Yes!
Even the WHO will be revising its classification of transgender identity in its upcoming ICD-11 in 2018.
Wonder why?
You can't just say that everyone who is different than you has a mental disorder. But even if some people require treatment for their dysphoria, the most effective treatment is allowing them to transition and live as the gender they want to live as.
Well, then do it. Who's stopping you?
Which is exactly what TERFs don't want. TERFs advocate for conversion therapy for trans people. That is, trying to make them not be trans. And that has been proven to be highly ineffective and in many cases is described as torture.
I agree with that. I would say that, you know, the whole conversion therapy thing, it's not an intervention. Like, even Riley, I wouldn't say is at a point where, like, she needs to be sat down and be like, fucking, like, that's just bad. But forced transition, I think, is another bad thing. You know, that goes on in mostly in Middle Eastern countries, but, you know, it does happen. And I'm not in favor of that either. Fucking, man, live and let live. Who really gives a shit? Riley isn't hurting anybody, and neither is anybody else that's really trans. Fucking, just, who cares?
If you want to learn about why being trans is not a mental disorder, I actually have a whole video where I explain that. But I think gender identity is a pretty simple thing to realize if you just think about yourself.
Alright, thinking about me.
Let's say you're a cis woman, and one day you wake up and you've had a phalloplasty, and there's a testosterone patch on your arm that can't be taken off.
Alright, thinking of me, now as a woman who wakes up one day and magically has a penis and a patch on my arm that I can't get off. Alright, I'm with you.
You would have a penis, and within a few months, you would have a deeper voice, more masculine facial features, and maybe even facial hair. Would you no longer be a woman? Would you suddenly identify as a man and be okay with people calling you a man? Would you then want to be excluded from women's spaces? Would you feel like a man? Probably not.
No, probably not. But probably because, I lived X amount of years of my life as a woman, and then one day I woke up and magically I had a penis and a patch on my arm that pumped extra testosterone in my body. That'd probably be why I'd have a problem with this shit. Because that's quite literally taking somebody from one body and putting them into another, as opposed to somebody being born that way and just, you know, upset and confused for most of their life. Like, fucking really? This isn't even close to anything. What the fuck?
I mean, maybe some folks don't really care how people see them, but for the most part, people like to be perceived as the gender they are.
Yeah, and if magically you turn into another fucking gender, you're probably gonna have a problem with that.
And if someone misgenders them, they will correct them. So for a lot of trans women, it's like that unremovable testosterone patch that you don't want is built into us. Your internal sense of your gender isn't affected by the hormones currently in your body or the genitals that you have.
That makes no fucking sense.
Your gender is how you feel and how you like being perceived. If you were born with a penis but like being called she or her or ma'am or miss and don't like being called he or him or sir, you might be a trans woman.
Alright, whatever, sure, fair enough. But, like, I do have a question. You write scripts, Riley. I know you've said before that you write scripts. It looks like you're obviously reading something sometimes. Why is there so much text at the bottom of the screen? If you do scripts, what do you just pump out a script and not even bother to proofread it at all? You just fucking, oh, I got a script, and then you just film it? And why is there so much text at the bottom of the screen, Riley? Why can't you include that shit in your fucking script?
But what TERFs are thinking of when they say that gender is just sexist stereotypes is really gender roles, which are different.
How many different things? So we got sex now, and we got gender, and now we have gender roles.
And by gender roles, I mean things like women wear dresses, they like pink, they wear makeup, all that kind of stuff. And they seem to think that all trans women just like that stuff, so they call themselves women instead of just being men who defy gender roles. But that's not how that works. Like, first of all, there are men who defy gender roles, and shout out to them because they're great. But the stereotypical things that trans women often like makeup and dresses, don't define their gender.
What?
Trans women often gravitate towards those things because of perception. Either how those things help them perceive themselves or how those things help other people perceive them. Like, if a trans woman puts on a dress in her room by herself and feels good, it's probably because it helps her see herself as more feminine. It's a way of combating the gender dysphoria that she feels.
Okay. I'm with you.
If she then wears that dress outside, she might feel good because she knows that people are perceiving her as the way she perceives herself. It's not that dresses make people trans, it's that dresses are often used to signal to other people that the person wearing it is feminine.
Huh? Like, how? Huh?
And it's the same thing for a lot of other stereotypes. Trans women often wear makeup because a good contour can make you look a lot more feminine. And trans women generally want to be perceived as more feminine because their external features tend to be more masculine.
Yeah. But how is that not reinforcing gender stereotypes? Like, it's stereotypical for women to wear dresses. So if you're a trans woman and you wear a dress, you're taking advantage of that stereotype to signal to the world that you're a trans woman. Huh?
But there are trans women who wear a full face of makeup every day, and there are trans women who never wear makeup. And they're both equally trans. Makeup and dresses don't define cis women, and they don't define trans women.
Okay, I mean, I guess the suit doesn't have to make the man, but, like, it fucking helps.
Women are women, regardless of whether they're cis or trans. Imagine if someone asked, how do you define being gay without relying on harmful stereotypes? Well, the simple answer is,
if you suck a dick, you're gay.
If you are attracted to the same gender that you are, and aren't really attracted to other genders, you're probably gay.
Yeah, that's totally the definition.
Like, you could talk about the stereotypes around gay people, but we all know that gay people aren't defined by their stereotypes. They're just gay because of their sexual orientation.
Yeah, because that's their sexual orientation. What does this have to do with what you're talking about?
There are feminine gay men and masculine gay men, but some gay men might act a little more feminine to signal to other people that they're gay because that's a stereotype that we have about gay men. Just as trans women might dress a little more feminine to signal to other people that they're a woman. There are butch lesbians and femme lesbians. There are bisexual people of all kinds of gender expressions. Sexuality doesn't rely on stereotypes, so why would you think gender does?
Because it's the stereotypes that lead us to know the fucking gender. If I walk around in a dress with a beard, that's confusing. Because that is mixing stereotypes. And people will go, what is this? Are you trying to be a woman? Trying to be a man? What are you doing here? And I mean, I don't have to answer them, but like, you can't really say I'm not looking for the attention if I do that, because I should know, as a person in this world, that if you do something odd, people are gonna look at you. If you walk around with a 3-foot fucking radius afro, you're gonna get looks. Be you black, white, or fucking whatever. Because it's odd. Like, it's an oddity. People don't see that shit every day. So, what? It's a stereotype. Like, it's...
Gender, like sexuality, is a thing that you feel. That's it. So the next time a TERF tells you to define gender without using stereotype,
just tell them some fucking random nonsense that essentially just proves them right. That's what you do.